Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Snook with section 7.1, and our topic today is ratios and proportions. And what we're going to do today is we are going to write ratios and extended ratios, and we're going to solve proportions. So first of all, what is a ratio? It is a comparison of two quantities. And there's three ways that we can write a ratio. We can write it as A to B with a colon. We can write it as A to B with words. We can also write it as a fraction, A over B. And because ratios are fractions, they can be reduced. So let's write a couple of these. Let's do trumpets to violins. So in our example, we have a music store that has 40 trumpets, 39 clarinets, 24 violins, 51 flutes, and 16 trombones in stock. And we're going to give each as a simplified ratio. So let's do trumpets to violins. We have 40 trumpets, and we have 24 violins. Now remember that ratios can be reduced, so let's divide the 40 and the 24. If we divide them each by 8, then our ratio becomes 5 to 3. Let's take a look at flutes to clarinets. We have 51 flutes to 39 clarinets, and that's going to reduce to 17 to 13, because I can pull a 13 out of both of those. And let's do one more. We're going to do violins to total number of instruments. So we have how many violins do we have? 24 violins. And then for the total number of instruments, you're going to have to add up your 40 trumpets and 39 clarinets. So you may want to grab a calculator for this. So 40 trumpets plus 39 clarinets plus 24 violins plus 51 flutes and 16 trombones. I get 170. And this time I thought I'd write our ratio as a fraction. And clearly we can reduce that. And that's going to equal 12 over 85, because I just divided both by 2. And I'm going to check, and I think that doesn't reduce any further. So that's going to be my answer. So now an extended ratio. This time that's also a comparison, but it's got 3 quantities, and they're written like this. A is to B is to C. So just that one format using the colons. And we're going to go ahead and solve some problems using extended ratios. Now watch carefully, because this is sometimes challenging to a geometry students. We're going to look at number 5 and then number 8. On number 5, we have the ratio of 2 complementary angles is 3 to 7. Find the measures of both angles. Well, the first thing you want to do is write an equation. And because I know they're complementary, they're going to add to 90. So I'm going to have 2 angles that add to 90. Now the key to this type of problem is to use the ratio as your coefficients. So I have 3 to 7. So I'm going to use 3 as a coefficient and 7 as a coefficient. And I'm going to use the variable x. So if I write my equation 3x plus 7x equals 90, that guarantees that my answers are going to be in the ratio of 3 to 7. So that's the geometry. Now let's do the algebra. 10x equals 90, so x equals 9. we're asked to find the measures of both angles. So I'm just going to go back and plug in. 3 times 9 equals 27 degrees. That's my first angle. 7 times 9 equals 63 degrees. That's my second angle. So those are our answers. Now we're going to do the same thing, but this time we have an extended ratio. We have 11 to 2 to 5, so that's extended. And the ratio of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 11 to 2 to 5. Find the measure of the largest angle. Well, think back to triangle sum theorem. We know that the three angles in a triangle are going to add up to 180 degrees. And then use the ratios as your coefficients. So 11x plus 2x plus 5x equals 180. That's our equation. The geometry is done. So let's solve. I get 18x equals 180 degrees, therefore x equals 10. And then it says find the measure of the largest angle. So which coefficient is the largest? 11, 2, or 5? And I hope you're thinking 11. So you just do 11 times 10 equals 110 degrees. And that's going to be the measure of your largest angle. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to solve proportions. So a proportion is an equation that states that two ratios are equal. And we write a proportion as A over B equals C over D. So we're going to write our ratios as fractions and set them equal to each other. Now the way to solve a proportion, come on. Is to use what's called the cross product property. So what you're going to do is you're going to multiply bottom times top. So I'm going to say B times C, bottom times top. And you're going to set that equal to bottom times top, or A times D. So bottom times top equals bottom times top. And that's the cross product property. Sometimes I'll say crisscross crash. So let's look at some of these problems. Let's look at number 11. We have 4 over x equals 2 over 7. That's a proportion. We have a fraction on the left equals a fraction on the right. One of these is a variable that we need to solve for. So I'm just going to do bottom times top. So I'm going to say 2x equals 4 times 7. 2x equals 28, or x equals 14. And that's our answer here. Let's do one that's a little bit more complicated. Let's do number 15. We've got a 10 over 2x minus 9 equals 20 over 9. Same thing. Bottom times top equals bottom times top. So I'm going to multiply the 10 and the 9 together. And I'm going to multiply the 2x minus 9 and the 20 together. So 2x minus 9. I'm just going to go ahead and multiply the 9 and the 10. And then I'm going to distribute. So I get 2x minus 18. Nope. 40x. So I'm going to do the 2x times 20 minus 180 equals 90. Now I'm going to add 180 to both sides. So I get 40x equals 270. And then just divide both sides by 40. So grab your calculator. Now I'm going to do 270 divided by 40, and I get 6.75, and that's our answer for that one. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do number 17. Because if you look carefully, we have an x minus 20 in the numerator on one side and x minus 11 on the other side. So this one's just a little bit more complicated. Remember, do the same thing. Bottom times top, so 3 times x minus 11 equals the other bottom times the other top, 18 times x minus 20. And then distribute 3x minus 33 equals 18x minus 360. And then I am going to solve this. I'm going to combine like terms. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. That gives me a 15x. And I'm going to add 360 to both sides. That gives me 327. Now divide both sides by 15, and x is going to equal 21.8. All right, that is it for today. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.